Keep your petty skepticism. I'll pay my tab in no time. You'll see. Mark my words, when my deal comes through, I'll have...
For me, Doc. I'll be over here. Definitely not in excruciating pain.
Blood and bile are covered under our standard sanitation tax. All other bodily excretions may incur an additional surcharge.
I must ask you to hold still.
My liver ain't the lily kind. Tell it to me straight, Doc.
The bullet shattered your tibia and all but demolished your gastrocnemius muscle. Due to the risk of infection, I have to abscise your leg. There is good news, however. I recently enrolled in a course on advanced amputation techniques, so I'll be seeing a positive return on my investment sooner than expected. My stimulants cost a premium, but take enough and you'll see the architect. At least that's what I've heard.
Find a way to get ahead, and this happens.
That guard wasn't being ironical about the giant hologram over Town Hall. Well, guess we ought to go acquaint ourselves with that minister like she said.
Yes, if you... Oh, if... No, if it's dirt area. Oh, I see. If you can... If... Oh, no. If you have to go, we can. What? What? No. No.
This paradigm thing you people are always going on about. Does it really improve your life?
Oh, yes! The paradigm reserve supplies all we deserve.
I wonder if it would help me. Is it available in extra strength?
I begin laboring for Auntie. I so eagerly want to contribute to the corporate whole. Corporate whole.
Cool your thrusters, friend. A little gumption goes a long way in this town.
Ectoplasm. Wait. Nope. Just Taro excrement. Heavens, Auntie, you scared the living daylights out of me. Shouldn't sneak up on a man like that. Good way to earn a bullet betwixt the eyes. Guess I should apologize for all that hullabaloo before. Just mistook you for another unfleshly manifestation. Look, I know how it sounds, like I'm a few crabbles short of a hurt, but just hear me out. It all started the other night. Saw a personage leaving the greenhouse, late. Figured it for Emily, but when I asked her about it, she didn't know what I was talking about. Happened again the next night. Gave chase that time, but lost him hereabouts. I turned a corner and they'd up and vanished. I've knocked on doors, peeped a few windows, respectfully, mind you. And I ain't spied anything more exciting than a chair. But then, a being of pure information probably wouldn't linger on this plane any longer than necessary. Too tiresome, would be my guess. Well, maybe. I still don't know all the particulars, yet. But it's one theory. I certainly won't say no to having a fresh set of lamps on the scene. Just be careful. Hate to see you disappeared like that foodstuffs.
Juliana. Oh, my Juliana. Even though I now rank among the Protectorate's foes, I hoped you would return to me. Every night I would sneak out of Fairfield, despite the danger, desperate to find you. Hoping you would see fit to join your wife. Yet no one has heard from you since you went to the Skycutter facility. Not in 2 weeks. I can only assume the worst. I don't think I can stay in this town any longer. Perhaps if I return to suffer the Protectorate's justice, I shall at least learn what became of you. And if you are gone, I hope I shall be executed. Then at least we shall be together.
DeVries sure has some chic putting the Earth Directorate symbol on her wall after everything she's done.
My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. Seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
I can't believe this. Void me if I understand any of this. DeVries sold us out for what? Because of a few equations? Some dots and lines on a graph? Good fucking law. I mean, she wasn't a damn scientist. She said it herself. She didn't understand all of it, the math. So what was she thinking? No. You didn't know her. Not like I did. Like I thought I did. Damn it! I never wanted to talk about this. I wanted to just leave it alone. Told myself, no point in dredging up the past. Should have known it wouldn't rest. DeVries may have saved me on Triangulum, but I wasn't the only one looked up to her. Lots of the other recruits talked about her too, back at the academy. They all thought she was the pinnacle of what an agent should be. Tough, smart, ain't a job she couldn't get done. And better and faster than everyone else. Inspired all of us. Reckon so. Somewhat embarrassing how much worship we all put on her name. You put a tool in my hand, I would have built monuments to her. Figure my own career could be just that. Doing for others what she done for me. Never imagined I'd actually get to work with her. Me, some nobody from Triangulum. And then she betrayed us. Tried telling myself it was an accident, but now we've got the cold, hard proof it wasn't. Law only knows why she trusted the Order's numbers. The Order of the Ascent is just another sect of the Order of Scientific Inquiry. The Grand Plan and all that used to be part of the Protectorate before their big falling out. Believe they can predict the future or some such, but nice plan-abiding folks don't kill for the betterment of their cause. I can't believe the Order plotted our murder. But 10 years ago, I would have said the same about DeVries. I mean, she always struck me as so pragmatic, real sensible-like. Never figured she'd go all in on predictions from a bunch of monks. Sure, but why act alone instead of reporting her concerns to the brass? What made her believe the Earth Directorate would dismiss the threat? I don't take issue with folks clinging to whatever keeps them afloat. Math, science, the Grand Architect, Void, even Capital. I know how most colonies run, but when those beliefs start to require hurting others, even killing them, that's worth questioning their virtue. If only DeVries had shared in our good judgment, huh?
Whatever her plans, she started putting them in place while stationed undercover at the Vox Relay. Our next point of order ought to be getting them there. Reckon there's got to be someone on the island who can help us with that. Let's keep asking around. Friendly like.
Pulverizing them suffice? No, I couldn't liquefy them. Apply heat and congeal them into kibble no beast could resist. Oh, Ethel, darling, you're a genius. Approach with less haste next time, won't you? Copernicus may be tame, but he still doesn't take kindly to being startled. I am Ethel Tinsley, chimeric scientist. I'm responsible for taming this delightful raptidon here. He will protect our fair town from his feral brethren in the wilds. Theoretically. Officer Carr has been in a state waiting for me to train the raptidons to, maul on command. It's rather pressing, and alas, one scientist-turned-tamer can only do so much. One might say I'm perhaps a bit on edge. Folk here have grown weary, shall we say, with the war effort. And with avoiding Carr and the minister's would-be fisticuffs. No, I don't believe it is. That's what the Protectorate announcers wanted us to believe anyway, before Auntie showed us the truth. No, this is quite abnormal, I'm sure. Anyhow, all I know is that if they were to begin working with each other, the mood in town would certainly be merrier. Or something akin to it. Well, I was a subject once. Despite my talents, the plan dictated that I should be relegated to programming cleaning mechs.
Bah. But then, Auntie's Choice came along and offered to transform our lives for the better. I chose to accept. And look where I am today. Over the last year, I have climbed the rungs of my division through the sheer merit of my work. I have finally earned the respect I was always due. Poor things. They either fought to the last or chose to flee. It's regrettable, but some folk just aren't ready to embrace change. All they knew was being told how to live. They couldn't imagine any other way. Ask any of the other Protectorate subjects who converted, and they'd echo my words. When one can allow their ambitions to show, that is true freedom. They did. I was in a dreadful state before the invasion. I fear I was close to disappearing myself. The Sovereign claims to provide for all of our needs. But without freedom and autonomy, I could not find happiness. In any case, I do hope I've satisfied your curiosity. The war effort and liberating the rest of the Protectorate waits for no one. I work directly with Officer Carr and her soldiers to ensure they're outfitted with the best Raptidon counterparts Paradise Island can provide. In theory, they'll be trusted to guard our most precious assets, including our leadership. For now, they deter encroachment from wild Raptidons. It's most agreeable. Trust me, they are safer here than out in the wilds. I have been reprimanded thrice now for undue pampering. I would not be here if this experiment was still causing needless suffering.
Keep 'em coming. I can do this all day.
I suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples. Spare me such timid drivel. We needn't waste time bandying lies. Of course, I know why you're really here. You have come to exact retribution for our larceny at your greenhouse. The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. starving? Hardly. We have greater stores of strength than you suppose. This hunger is a momentary distraction, nothing more.
Do not speak of biology to me, interloper. We are not the same. I am built in accordance with the paradigm. And you are insubstantial, weakened under the burden of choice.
I am merely quivering with rage over this insulting interrogation. And that scent you so subtly pointed out is the aroma of noble effort. Foreign to you, I'm sure.
Thought I saw you disappear in here. Oh. Seems I've stumbled into quite the shindig. You lot been hiding out in here all this time? Touch cramped, ain't it?
The more I listen to invaders blathering, the more convinced I become of the need to rid our fair island of your wretched stupidity by any means necessary.
Not very copacetic, are you folks?
If this exchange is not to your liking, I can accommodate you with a bullet instead. This was always going to end in blood.
Confirm destination. Life support.
Ready to waste. On your command. Dropping magazine.
Guess I had this mystery all wrong. Small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. I appreciate that. Never really talked about the direction of my thoughts on this topic with no one before. Wow, it's like I'm lighter. Thank you for everything. Truly.
credulous enough to accept this is where I've ended up, doing the work of at least 3 lackeys, a full half-dozen automechs. I'd welcome you, would-be consumer, but we are not a retail operation. Please visit the various consumer locations around Fairfield for all your purchasing needs. I was meant to have help, but they lacked the barest amount of gray matter it takes to keep from getting locked up by excessive corporate malfeasance. So, I'm on my own here, breaking my back, trying to buttress all these vines on top of all my other jobs. Oh, the bits I wouldn't pay for some of those mechs the Protectorate used to work this place. So, is there anything else, or can I get back to work? You read my terminal? How embarrassing. The compliance adjusters broke the door lock when they arrested my predecessor, and I haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. Not that I thought anyone had come snooping. I'd made careful arrangements to tie up everyone's loose ends. Everyone except you, it seems. So, why are you so interested in my other work? You're not part of compliance. Because Auntie's Choice expects you to forge a path that's ambitious and self-deterministic, but not so much so that it disrupts other folks' ambition and self-determinism. Blah. I can't even fathom Auntie's economy if every eager go-getter operating on the gray edge of strictly legal suddenly closed up shop. Our whole society would fall to ruins. You know, I've been looking for some backfills with the kind of cleverness usually only found on the seedy lower decks of the claim. Feel like making a few bits? I'm part of Sub Rosa. We're a group of merchants, information brokers, and commodity traders who deal outside the systems most folk are confined by. We're the best way to get things done in anti-space if you're looking for profit. Want to buy it, sell it, move it? Pah, they were rubes, nitwits, dolts so lacking in faculties that they couldn't handle the minuscule, and by that I mean damn tiny, amount of discretion this job requires. They had to be dealt with so we could all get back to work. And now that I'm here, things will be running right smoothly. So, long as your brain pan's filled with more than a half-dead sprat spinning on a rusty wheel, I absolutely guarantee this is a no-risk venture. Oh, isn't that just wonderful? I had no suspicion when you walked through my door that you'd help resolve the last of the morass Paradise Island has become for us. And all we need you to do is access Quartermaster Cardosa's terminal and scrub any Spectrum vodka from her ledgers. It's already been resold, so having it in her system could become problematic. Expunge it, and I get you some bits, and the friendship of Sub Rosa all over the system. You get me? It'll probably be nothing. She's just a sergeant, not someone who has any real pull. And I've already made arrangements with everyone who matters. So, if she catches you, about the worst she can do is a switch on the rest. Because we are the black market in Arcadia. Odds are, at some point, you're going to need something you just can't get legally. Then you'll be thrilled we're associated. Sub Rosa feeds that appetite to not just survive, but to thrive. And that's taking all of us places. We're more than simple opportunists. We are opportunistically driven. Trust me, for both short-term benefits and long-term prospects, you want to be our friend. And I'll be waiting here with your bits.
Rumors flying around about the rifts. The lab coats can't figure them out. Some people worship them.
They're becoming unstable. What if they swallow us up?
That's a no cause for concern.
You say that about everything. To be honest with you, let me know you really.
No signs of corrosion. Exhaust manifold still warm. You just stopping by to admire the mines? Or is there something I... See this system here? It deploys extreme countermeasures against overhead attacks in the form of aerial explosives, oft referred to as sky mines by those who prefer brevity. However, the whole thing is currently non-operational. Some problem with the lifting mechanism. No lift means no sky mines. No sky mines means the enemy can blow in like a bad sail, and we'll all be passing in our bits before you can say, gee, nice weather we're having today. Truth is, maybe I could use some help. But if you mention this conversation to anyone, I will deny it ever took place. I'll be over there if you need me. Way over there. Should clear the blast radius at that distance.
Don't go into that cheap saloon if you got a liquor gumption. They got no tolerance for it. Why do you think I'm out here? Has nothing to do with my current and very temporary shortage of funds.
I see a huge opportunity for us in Fairfield. There's zero competition. Welcome to the name-pending saloon, purveyor of spirits and stimuli. What'll it be, stranger? Reckon so. Here's what we've got. Back already? Anything else I can help? Why, sure. You'd be surprised how much loose talk and idle speculation occurs around here. What, between them Protectorate defectors, finally able to speak their minds, and all our off-duty Antes employees carping about work and the war? Any particular topic you have in mind? Oh. Minister Milverstreet's blessed with the gift of gab. Swear he could sell bypass shunts to a Raptidon. Ain't one of them falsely magniloquent types, though. Sincere fella. Shares command of Fairfield with Acquisitions Officer Carr. She's blunt and murderous. Two traits Auntie's Choice highly prizes in a commander of corporate forces. To say they have differing approaches to leadership is like saying, gee, suns are hot, whilst being incinerated in a solar eruption. Vox Station's run by a brigadier by the name of Montelli. Sounds like he's as much a danger to his own troops as ours. Real piece of work, even by Protectorate standards. Reportedly enamored of show trials and summary executions. Tell you one thing you can't avoid, the bridge. No other way around it, and at present, it's held by Protectorate forces. We have a small contingent of troops bivouacked nearby. Forward Operating Base, they call it. You're asking me for the particulars of a high-level corporate acquisition. Like an in-depth accounting of the various parties who vied for control and who won out in the end? They merged. Rebranded. Auntie Cleo seems in charge now. Dunno. Do my best, just my pleasure. Got anything for me in return? Of course I know that. We all do. Just trying to make some bits while I can, you know? Besides, some say it's decades away. Why fret unduly today? Here I was hoping you'd have a good story for me in exchange, but oh well. Not everyone's a seasoned raconteur. All right. Appreciate you dropping by.
Oh, must be one of my copious direct reports. Rest assured, I'm making adequate progress in my manual labors. Time for another performance review already. Apologies, I'm still applying the required elbow grease to scour these surfaces. Just like many thanks for the validation. I don't suppose you can spread the word of my competency. I desperately seek to avoid yet another demotion. This meritocratic society is still so foreign. The workplace skullduggery, the prioritizing of self over community, the excessively colorful nutrition. It surely is. I was a drone operator right here in Fairfield. Gave nigh on 50 years of zealous service at my terminal before Auntie showed us the wonders of consumerism. Never even heard the phrase job security up until a month ago, but it seems I lack it. Can barely keep up with all these gumptious sorts. Oh, you're right. I wanted change. Whole reason I left the Protectorate.
People think I got ejected from the saloon because I'm 3 sheets to the wind. Well, maybe I...
Swear, I almost had it this time. Everything all lined up. Easy mark, guaranteed moneymaker, favorable terms. Practically the recipe for success. Look like you've had your share of troubles. Ever had the perfect opportunity just slip through your fingers? In Auntie's choice, high finance is life and death, friend. I had just the thing to get me a fast-track promotion to lower middle management. Now you see, it's like this. I agreed to meet with a business associate to finalize a deal, but the location got set for Spire Grove. Problem is, you been outside of Fairfield? The funicular to Spire Grove broke recently, so I got no way to get up there. I'd break my neck scaling that cliff for sure. There's a long way around, but it's not for me. Why, the path there might be lousy with raptidons for all I know. Wasn't before, but mayhap they were just lulling me into a false sense of complacency so they can strike. While exploring facilities to the north, my partner unearthed a heretofore unexploited advanced Protectorate technology. Couldn't or wouldn't go into details, but he promised every household would want one, that it'd revolutionize the daily life of Auntie's Choice citizens. I lay my hands on something like that, turn it over to management, I'd start climbing the rungs of the corporate ladder right quick. Soon, I'd have all the considerable perks of someone responsible for a hit new product line. Bigger salary, name recognition, reserved seating in the company restroom, the works. Opportunistically leveraging difficult predicaments. That's the Auntie's Choice way. I have a few bits I can offer you. Not much, but if it turns out a roaring success like it ought to, and I get a fat promotion, I promise I'll see you're taken care of later. Splendid. Go parlay with Jackson Plum up at Spire Grove. It's some kind of agricultural harvesting encampment southwest of here, near a mess of them rocky spires. He'll provide the agreed-upon schematics. Well, the broke-down funicular is due west of here. Dexterous-looking so-and-so like yourself could probably scarp her up it in a jiffy. From there, it's just up the hill a smidge. So close, but so far. Truth is, haven't the slightest. You know the Protectorate have all the most advanced technology, though. Probably something straight out of an Aetherwave serial. Edible spacesuits, N-ray specs, matter translocation. It could be anything. If Jackson's all fired up about it, it'll be beyond comprehension, I'm sure. All right, then. Don't let me keep you. Blood in the talent pool around here with these Protectorate defectors. Not sure how I feel about that, except that I hate it.
Boy, take this terminal and trash it. That's it. I need a smoke. If you're about to blast me about fixing that void-forsaken terminal, it'll have to wait. I'm entitled to a break like anyone else. It's in my contract. I triple-checked. You must be thinking of some other brand of coffin nails. Andy's Coronas are made with only the best carcinogenic substitutes. Guaranteed to extend your life, not shorten it. It's also the only smoke worth a good damn on this moon. Here, try a pack. On me. Glad I can please one person today. Can't say my actual taskmasters are too happy with me. I'm getting pressure from the folks up top to deploy these Protectorate drones to the military camp on behalf of Auntie's Choice. That terminal's been giving me some trouble. The drones are ready to launch. All that he's doing is fixing their targeting priorities so they mark us as friendlies. But I can't breach the terminal's security protocols. Drones are only as dangerous as their programming. But it's a moot point anyway. These ones ain't gonna shift on their own anytime soon. And that there's a problem. I know it probably seems like we're up to our ducks in troops, but half of them are ex-Protectorate trainees who can't tell the business end of a rifle. We need these drones. As long as I'm on break, work does not exist. I cannot see the terminal. I do not hear the terminal. Get me? If you want to go poking around, that's your prerogative. Just don't break anything, all right? at them go. Kara's gonna be pleased having them added to the arsenal.
Protectorate folks must have been bored out of their skulls before we showed up. Now life in Fairfield's a real shindig. Well, except for the handful of cult heads who couldn't accept this place as their companion. We should fix them.
Marginal improvement's still improvement, I suppose. The target's not on the ground, recruits.
Trainee Lindell, be so kind as to remind us all what the first rule of the range is.
Guns are weapons, not toys.
And do we aim weapons at colleagues or at our own unprotected upper stories, even in jest? Hint, we do not. I can assure you they are. The soldiers before you are former Protectorate subjects, mainly of the farming variety. No knowledge of combat. Scarce experience wielding anything deadlier than a wrench. They are accustomed to being told what to do, when to do it, even how to think. A lifetime of habitual servitude is not broken in a day. I'm only responsible for familiarizing them with the weapons they will come to rely on in future. However, having observed them on the range, they fail every hurdle, but keep getting back up. I'm not one to idle in the path of a good faith effort to accelerate education. The faster we can get more soldiers in the field, the better. There's just one problem. I don't know you. So, respectfully, I must ask, what do you feel qualifies you to give instruction to my recruits? You do have a certain confidence about you that is presently absent in these recruits. Very well, I'll allow you to speak with them. Don't make me regret this. Attention trainees, guns down. That means you too, Simpson. We have a guest who has a few words to share.
You have something to say to us? No, but it's probably what we deserve. The others are right. We're not cut out for this.
In the short amount of time we've shared, I've already observed a great deal of improvement in each and every one of you.
You really think so? Gee, imagine how fearsome we'll be in a month.
Yes, and a corporate ladder means there's always somewhere greater to reach. Now, if Auntie's faith in you is not misplaced, then prove it, trainees! Weapons at the ready! And fire! Well done, trainees! Well done! It appears your words have had their intended effect. Oh, thank law. The trainees seem quite taken with you, too. As I suspect they would riot if I let you leave without a reward. Please, accept this revolver with Auntie's thanks. Plan willing, I will have as much success deploying your wisdom with my next batch of recruits.
me guess. Gun keeps jamming, armor don't quite fit snug as you like. State your division and I'll get you outfitted, quick and proper, or your next provision's free. Thought these old factories caught a whiff of decrepitude percolating in the air. I'd explain it then. As Chief Replenishment Officer, it's my privileged duty to furnish our brave troops with all of their wartime essentials. You could say I put the ration in liberation. Tell me what you need, and I'll do my ample best to supply you. As a friendly reminder, all sales are final, especially ammunition. Business is always good when a war's on. What do you need this time? Good eye. Oh, I'd say they're better than nice. Got more armor than a hammerclaw, but better flight handling than the old clunkers we used to stock. If things had turned out differently, it might be someone else standing here, while I'd be off piloting one of those beauties. Don't have the aptitude for flight, apparently. But this role suits me fine. I like the upward mobility, in the metaphorical business sense, I mean. What? She'll start bleeding fuel during ascent, if not worse. I'd best go and take a quick gander, just in case. Thanks for the tip. She looks all right. Yeah.
Hello again. You get that inventory issue sorted? How grand. That officially mops up the last of the mess from the buffoons that came before me. And, as promised, my good fortune is also your good fortune. And while this might be a tad fewer bits than you were hoping for, remember, you've also made allies that you'll find all across Arcadia. Just keep watching for paintings of a stylish yellow rose with a split black circle near the middle. Like the one you passed on your way in. Find that rose, and you find Sub Rosa.
going to need to find a truck? You certainly can't have mine. What kind of skills do you have?
Not everyone's cut out for life in an anti-encampment. It's intense, but only 3 to attend, and we sleep in shifts. God's company enough when we treat time.
Might I have a word, Commander? I know I've been pushing to find DeVries, so this might seem a bit of a left turn. Avoid it. I'm just gonna ask. Got an old friend here on the island. The doctor who patched me up after Horizon Point. Ex-protectorate, a good man. Tracked him to Westport a short time ago, but never got up the nerve to visit. Reckon we could drop by and pay him a visit? Brief one, of course. Not sure he'd still consider me such, but that's part and parcel of the reason I want to see him. I had some bad years on my own. Now with you here being part of a team, this might sound a mite soppy, but I feel like I could be a proper agent again. That starts with writing accounts. This friend of mine, Zebulon Tran, I let him down. And I've been chewing on that live wire for a while. Too long, maybe. Much as I might love to jaw about that special interest of mine, this business with Zeb's gotta come first. After I recovered from Horizon Point, Zeb and I ran together for a spell, doing what we could to help folks in difficult spots. Fighting protectorate tyranny in small ways. Too small for Zeb, as it turned out. He was unhappy before I showed up, and after, well, all my directorate talk fired him up even more. I had my orders. I was to stay low. Couldn't let the Protectorate catch wind of an Earth Directorate agent in its midst. But Zeb, he kept pushing to take more extreme action. Resistance is a mite strong. Wasn't like he was part of some greater movement. He avoided speaking out of line, but he was already spinning up discontent by the time we met. I think I've given the wrong impression. For all his anger, it wasn't like Zeb was going around with a revolver, much as he might have wanted to. We mostly help folks avoid getting into trouble over minor infractions. Or tried to anyway. We worked hard. But the Arbiters and Sentinels, well, they worked harder. Often than not, our help only made targets of the folks whose lives we were trying to improve. Didn't matter what we did. Arcadia was still caught under the Protectorate's boot. Guess some of what you said way back when stuck. Oh, that talk about putting people first. Figured that's what I was doing, putting a stop to all the pain I was causing. Anyway, things weren't good. Zeb and I couldn't find the rhythm we had before. We were arguing every day. Eventually, cutting ties just seemed for the best. Clean like. Only later I learned Zeb hadn't given up the struggle like I assumed he would. He got to stay in mental refreshment for his trouble. That's the last I heard of him, till recent. Much appreciated, Commander. Promise, I won't be making a habit of pulling skeletons out of my closet. Westport's on the east side of the island. I tracked Zeb to somewhere on its outskirts, but never got up the nerve to visit before now. We ought to start there.
Sequencing attack strategies. Engaging combat protocols. This unit has observed a significant increase in your levels of physical activity, Agent Ibarra. Helpful reminder. Please make time for rest and recovery.
I'm fine, Val. But I have noticed you experiencing more vocal stutters lately. Reckon we should spend some time together at a workbench soon.
To maintain this unit's superb performance, routine maintenance is highly recommended.
I'll take that as a yes.
No, Jackson, don't! Don't fret. With these boots, I can fly!
Jackson! Jackson! Twitch your broken legs if you can hear me, Jackson! Oh, law. I can't believe he jumped that way.
Sir, I know this isn't the time, but are they gonna put us to the gallows for this?
What? No. That ain't how we operate in Auntie's Choice, Liza. We might be looking at a pretty fierce demotion for losing half our workforce and getting stuck up here, though.
Demotion to fertilizer?
No. Now cease your jawing. This ain't the time. Hey, you! You down there! Would you mind checking on our fellow? Might he have survived the fall? He thought those boots would make him fly, but they really just allow the user to jump repeatedly. Unless their downward velocity is too great. If so, well, you see what happens. Not nearly as upset as we are. We've been stuck atop this machine since Ida, one of our new Protectorate acquisitions, had her gray matter scrambled by the height, jumped down, and landed right in its gears. I can't fathom no sensible motive. She joined us shortly after Auntie liberated her with the freedom of meritocracy, and she seemed happy enough.
Were you not listening? She said she'd always be a loyal subject. It was part of the endless inculcation we endured in the Protectorate. It can prove insurmountable for some.
The notion that she'd sacrifice herself, even after seeing the vast possibilities in staying alive and climbing the corporate ladder, it's just impossible to cognize. There ain't no way off this platform besides jumping, and you've seen how that ends. But you being down there makes you uniquely qualified to help us. The reason Jackson tried using those plasma thruster boots was to gather a piece of machinery we'd spotted on a little table halfway up the spire.
It's a drive overloader. If we install it, we can push the platform's arm hard enough to, well, to grind old Ida out of the gears.
Though the power of that overloader will deluge the system and, well, overload the drive and burn it out all permanent-like. But desperate times and all that.
So if you were to use them boots to bound up the spire and deliver the overloader to us, we'd avoid the tragic fate of our two former cohorts.
Exactly! Because he had no idea how science works and thought the word thrusters meant he could fly. So, when I told him to jump, he opted for open air instead of where I told him to go. They're experimental. We'd not laid eyes on them before, but the data we found with them says they were actually designed to let people hop their way up the spire. If you activate the plasma thrusters when you're already airbound, they can give you a fair bit of extra boost. It should let you turn a quick hop into a surprisingly grand vault.
Thank the Sovereign. Thank you, stranger. We are eagerly anticipating a long life utterly absent of starvation. Brachythecium rotabulum. They're found in bandages and burn tinctures. If you don't have that drive overloader, ascending may be a waste.
That's it? It was that easy?
thank the law. I never thought of myself as a vertiginous sort, but being trapped 100 meters in the air will make you reconsider.
I mirror that sentiment, to be certain. In fact, Auntie will have to pay me triple if heights are to be involved. And isn't it grand to be in a system that allows me that freedom?
So, the platform still works? That's amazing! Not that we'll be going up in it again. For that, you deserve a little extra on top of your urgently improvised extortive rate. Thank you again for all your help.
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's choice makes a cream for it.
Can't believe some of those Protectorate hull heads just couldn't see the benefit of self-betterment.
Let them simmer in their cells for a spell. Less able bodies hustling in the country.
You ever find yourself with too much disposable income? I got plenty of ideas on how to dispose of it.
I've been gone a while. How'd it go? Tell me you got good news. Why, that's terrible. But you said you have the schematics? I'll take those. What? Sovereign's finest potato corollary peeler? This was supposed to be a guaranteed bestseller. Who in their right mind would... Jackson, you idiot! Ah! It's a good thing he's dead, because if he wasn't, I'd kill him! There's no... God damn it! I'm never getting that promotion. This was supposed to be my easy path to a promotion. Must be something I can do to salvage this. Tell me, did you come across any other advanced Protectorate technology while you were there? Anything more, well, easily marked? Personal thrusters? No one would ever want such preposterous things. I'd be laughed out of recreant reclamation. Imagine, jumping about like a sprog. Ridiculous. Well, here's all I can spare in regards to your compensation. Try not to spend it all in one place. It's supposed to be categorically bad for commerce. In the unlikely event things somehow pan out and I get that big promotion, I'll see you're taken care of. Until then, take care.
Every time I think I'm having a bad day, I just tell myself, wait till tomorrow. It'll probably be worse.
Ask them defectors if they miss anything about Protectorate life.
10 bits, they said community.
Yep. Community.
This stretch runs between Fairfield and the Eastern Forward Operating Base. North of here is an old abandoned chapel. Dang, I ought to be charging for information.
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you?
The people she tried to kill.
By the architect. I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying.
Yeah, imagine how we feel. Why don't you tell us where she is so we can make sure she ain't being a danger to herself or others?
And how are you going to do that?
That ain't something you ought to be concerning yourself about.
If you think I'm going to help you do what I think you're talking about, you are deluded.
I may be deluded, but you're lucky you ain't dead. Seeing how she seems partial to using her friends as victims.
Does she? It occurs to me that you have provided no proof of what you're accusing her of.
Why don't you take a long look at me? This is all because she betrayed us. Her team, her friends, even the one whose life she saved in Triangulum.
By the architect. You're Niles, aren't you? She mentioned you a few times, but refused to elaborate. All I knew was that she was fond of you, and that you were dead.
She was fond of me? Then why? Why would she try to kill me?
I can't say, but it may be one of the things she anguished over. An anguish I fear finally overwhelmed her, and could likely be what's driven her to her present course of action. I wish I knew. It's nothing good, I can tell you that. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really.
She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things, for some reason she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That and the invasion itself set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusation. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an Arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No, we all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs.
She ain't the only one.
It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything.
Know a little something about that, too.
I did try to. Once. After the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything. 15-778.
That is Agent DeVries' identification code, Commander.
She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask.